Hello everyone, I'm Ronald Bosley and I would like to talk to you about a politician career field, what they could do to help influence Christian values on a local, state, and national level. Politicians can use their position to help write and vote laws to follow God's will. Being in the public eye, they could also lead by example, and people could see how a Christian should live. What if I told you Congress is 88% Christian? Would that be hard for you to believe because of the way some of them act and vote and do? As Christians, we have been in favor of keeping under God we trust, displaying the Ten Commandments and other faith-based initiatives in our system. But for some reason, when these issues come up in Congress, they are not passing, or they go to the Senate just to die. I would like to make a few points about politics. Number one, politics is becoming increasingly corrupt. Politicians who are Christian should put God into all of their work. And number three, politics impacts nearly every aspect of our lives. Political corruption by Brownfield in 1973 stated, ironically, the liberals whose politics have led to this state of affairs are a most aghast, while many conservatives who always recognize the danger of arbitrary executive power now tend to apologize for it is being wielded by their own party. That being said, corruption is in all parts of politics. Orts, Opinia, and Rosser in 2019 article titled Corruption says, in a survey on corruption, police were first the most corrupt, followed by legislature and government officials. What is the answer to corruption? Maybe a lot of work from Christians becoming politicians, and politicians that are Christians using their position to promote God in our government. Kermit Bridges, 2016, wrote, should Christians participate in politics? He quoted founding father John Jay, our first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. He said, Providence has given to our people and the choice of their rulers, and it is the duty as well as the privilege and interest of our Christian nation to select and prefer Christians for our leaders. The Bible reads in Acts 5:29, but Peter and the apostles answered, we must obey God rather than men. All the discussion about politics is especially important because so much of what goes on in our country, such as abortion, is because of politics. I'd always like to show this, speaking of abortion. I just like to ask the question, who's missing? And the answer is 60 million abortions have been in the United States have happened since 1973. And I always like to think or ask the question, what kind of scientists or doctors or people we may have had been born had they not been aborted that could have come up with cures for cancers and things like that. And to get back on to my subject, it is more important now than ever for Christians to get involved in politics, to help fight the corruption. After all, politics does impact us every day. Williams 2020, in an article called Quotes About Voting and Politics, quoted Martin Luther King Jr. saying, let us never forget that the government is ourselves and not an alien of power over us. The ultimate rulers of our democracy are not a president and senators and congressmen and government officials, but the voters of this country. All right, thank you.